Have you ever wondered why most people in their 20s feel stuck? They're not explicitly trapped, no one's holding them back, yet somehow they feel frozen in place, living a life that doesn't feel like theirs. The crazy part? They can't pinpoint why. And that's exactly how the system works, because if you can't see the prison, you'll never try to escape it. Here's the uncomfortable truth that nobody talks about. Society doesn't need to force you into mediocrity. It just makes average feel so normal that extraordinary feels terrifying. And the moment you believe that, you're done. You're locked in. Think about it. When you were 5 years old, you wanted to be a dancer, a scientist, an astronaut. You didn't have limits. You had dreams that made zero logical sense. But then something happened. School started. Your teachers gave you grades. Your parents encouraged you to be realistic. Your friends made fun of anything that was different. And slowly, so slowly you didn't even notice it happening, your world got smaller. Your dreams got quieter. And normal started feeling like the only option. This is the first hidden mechanism, social conditioning. It starts when you're young and dumb and defenseless. It's not intentional cruelty. Parents want to protect you. Teachers want to prepare you for the real world. Friends want you to fit in. But their intentions don't matter. The result is the same. You learn that staying in your lane is safe, that standing out is dangerous, that being average is the best way to avoid pain. And here's where it gets sinister. Once you're conditioned, society doesn't even need to push anymore. You push yourself. You become your own jailer. Fast forward to now. You're 18, 20, 23, and you're living a life on autopilot. School, then college, then a job. The same job everyone else wants. The same salary everyone else is chasing. The same timeline that's been laid out since you were a kid. And yeah, parts of it feel fine, parts of it feel safe. But deep down, there's this gnawing feeling that you're meant for more, that something's off. But you ignore it, because the moment you acknowledge that feeling, you have to do something about it. And doing something about it means risking comfort. It means leaving the herd. It means potentially failing in front of people who are watching. And that terrifies you, which is exactly the point. Here's the second hidden mechanism: peer pressure and social proof. This one's sneaky because it doesn't come from your parents or teachers anymore. It comes from everyone. Your friends who are also settling. Your Instagram feed showing everyone else's perfect average lives. Your family members asking why you're being unrealistic. Society has created an invisible consensus that says this is how life works. This is the acceptable path. Deviate from it and you're weird, you're irresponsible, you're destined to fail. So you conform, because the pain of standing out feels worse than the pain of giving up. That's the genius of it. But here's what nobody noticed. That feeling of being stuck, that's not a sign you're broken. That's a sign you're waking up. That gnawing sense that something's wrong, that's your real self finally getting loud enough that you can hear it over the noise. The problem is, most people feel this and then they do nothing. They feel the discomfort for a few weeks, then they get distracted. Netflix drops a new series, a relationship falls apart, work gets busier, and they forget. They go back to sleep, back to normal, back to the comfortable prison. But some people feel it and they act on it. And here's the third hidden truth. Leaving the comfort zone is not as dangerous as society makes it seem. Think about the worst that could actually happen. You try something, you fail, you look stupid for a while, but you don't die, you don't become homeless, you don't suddenly lose all your friends. Life goes on. And here's the thing about failure that nobody tells you. It's actually the fastest way to grow. Every failure is information. Every mistake is a lesson that cost you nothing compared to what you learned. But society frames failure as the end of the story, as something shameful, as a reason to never try again. So here's what you need to understand. The comfort zone isn't actually comfortable. It just feels that way because you're used to it. It's like living in a cold room your whole life. You don't realize it's cold anymore. It's just normal. But the moment you step into warmth, you realize what you've been missing, and you can never go back to thinking that cold was okay. Leaving the comfort zone is scary, yeah, but you know what's scarier? Staying in it for the next 50 years, wondering what you could have been, wishing you'd tried, living with regret. That's the real horror story. So how do you escape this? How do you break the chains that nobody even told you were there? First, you have to see them. You have to consciously recognize that the life you're living might not be the life you actually want. You have to separate what society told you to want from what you genuinely want. And that's harder than it sounds, because they've been blended together since you were a kid. Second, you have to accept that trying and failing is not worse than never trying. It's better, because at least you'll know, at least you'll have tried, and that, at the end of your life, matters infinitely more than playing it safe ever will. Third, you have to realize that everyone who ever did anything worthwhile felt exactly what you're feeling right now. Fear, doubt, imposter syndrome. They all had that voice telling them they'd fail, and they did it anyway. That's the only difference between people who stay average and people who don't. Not talent, not luck, just willingness to feel scared and do it anyway. The moral of this is simple. You are not stuck because you're incapable. You're stuck because staying stuck feels safer than moving forward. And society has spent your whole life convincing you that safe is good. But safe is boring. Safe is small. Safe is a cage disguised as a home. The chains are in your head. And the incredible news, you're the only one with the key. So here's what I want you to do. Think about one thing you've always wanted to try but didn't because it felt uncomfortable. One skill, one path, one dream. Write it down and commit to one action this week that moves you towards it. Not a big action, just one thing, a small step outside the comfort zone, and see what happens. Feel the fear and do it anyway, because that's how the real you starts emerging. That's how you escape the prison. If this resonated with you, if you felt that deep recognition of what I'm talking about, then you're already waking up. So please subscribe, because every single video on this channel is designed to help you see what nobody else noticed and become who you were always meant to be.